Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Rusty Nelson and welcome to my channel that is mostly about the villages, but I am kind of excited because I am up here in Pennsylvania and I am going to go take a look at a pickleball machine. Now, most of you know that the villages is definitely a mecca for pickleball. Stop the tape, stop the tape. I got to jump in here right now because things have changed a little bit. I went up and recorded the video about going to the Roost, the ERNE Pickleball Machine, and some things have changed. First of all, a spoiler alert, I'll tell you right now, I did get a discount code up there because of these videos I'm going to do. Here is the code right here. It is RUSTYERNE, one word, RUSTYERNE, and then that'll get you that much off a discount. There you go. If you gotten here just to get the code, that's it. But I know a lot of you are thinking about buying this pickleball machine. And I have to say a few things. One, they are not paying me to do this. I paid for this machine on my own, so I paid full boat. I didn't even get my own discount. And this video turned into something I didn't expect. I expected to just go up there and videotape this, him showing me the pickleball machine and basically me feeling comfortable and walking away and buying one, hopefully. But what happened is he talked to me and showed me the machine and I went, wow, holy crap, I really like this thing. And it's so versatile. But then he started telling me his story. And his story about developing the machine, and I started to see the excitement in his eyes, and it was contagious. And that's what made me feel really comfortable. And it was almost like he knew it, that I was going to walk out of there with one. But his excitement for the game of pickleball and the love of the game of pickleball, because I kind of feel the same way. It is kind of a fun, social thing for me, and I think it is for a lot of people because they ain't gonna pay me to play pickleball. So anyway, there's the discount. You get to use the discount. And let me say to my friends that have been on here a while with me, thank you so much. I got over 20,000 subscribers right now, so that's pretty cool. And I'm still gonna put out videos about the villages. In fact, I got some really cool stuff coming up every Sunday. But these pickleball videos, I'm gonna follow this with videos probably on Wednesdays and reviews as we go along on this pickleball machine and see what happens with this and about things that I've learned, hopefully to see whether this will help bump me up to over a 4.0 level. I'm going to kind of do videos of the things that I've learned along the way. And hopefully I'll be able to get some coaches to help me out because it doesn't make any sense to keep going over the same mistakes you're making with ERNE, the pickleball machine. So I'm going to do those on Wednesdays and I'll do my regular videos about the villages and retirement, that type of thing, on Sundays. Yeah, so if you're a coach too and you think you'd like to come down and jump in one of these videos, promote yourself a little bit, I'm happy to do that. We can see how that works out. Anyway, let's jump back to the regular video. And like I said, if you want to use that code right there, go ahead and use that. As long as that's up, then it's useful. I'll put the link down below and all those important links. And I think the next video I'm going to do is the one about the balls. I did an interview with him about the balls and stuff like that. So that'll come out next Wednesday. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back in the car and get started on this. I am going to go take a look at a pickleball machine. Now, most of you know that the villages is definitely a mecca for pickleball. I mean, I think they have 247 courts right now throughout the villages, soon to expand to probably 300 easily, I think. And it's become a big part of my life. In fact, I actually enjoy that probably more than I do golf these days. And I started thinking about it not too long ago that this is probably a sport that I'm going to be able to play for quite some time, hopefully another decade at least, depending on how I age, that type of thing. And I've reached a point where I have kind of stalled in my progression of getting better. And I was trying to figure out a way that I may be able to help myself move up to the next level. Now, if those not familiar with pickleball, it's done in like a rating system. So right now, by a duper score, which is kind of a commonality score, I'll show it up here, I am about a 3.8 or so. And I've played in a few tournaments and I kind of flounder around that area, but I wanted to up my game to get up above a 4.0. So I decided to go look for a pickleball machine to see whether that's going to help me. And through my research, lo and behold, comes this company that's selling them, Victory Sports, a pickleball machine called the ERNE. And it's fairly sophisticated. And I called them up and I said, hey, I want to come up, and I'm up in that area. Can I come up and take a look at this? Can you show me the machine that I do these videos? And they said, yeah, sure. In fact, we actually have an indoor court up here. If I can use it at the time, we'll go play and we can go check this out. And I thought, wow, that's great. You can order this thing when I get up there. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of excited. I am, although I'm not excited about it being 31 degrees out here in Pennsylvania, I am excited about going out to check out this pickleball machine. The cool thing is if I decide to get this machine, hopefully I'm going to be able to work out a deal where if anybody else that wants to get one of these machines, they can actually get a discount. So we'll see. It is all up in the air right now. I have no idea what to expect when I get up there. And I'll just keep cluing you in. You can follow along on the trip with me. And, you know, it's kind of, I really think I'm kind of excited because it's you know, the average guy, is this going to be able to help me out? And we will see. And hopefully you'll join me in this journey. And man, it's fun. I can definitely tell I'm up here in Pennsylvania. A lot of things made out of stone. And as you can tell, maybe looking in the background, I am not on the highway going by back roads here. Anyway, soon going to be at Victory Sports, and we'll go meet the owners and see what happens. It looks like I am here, as you can kind of tell. And there's signs that say ERNE and signs that say Roost. So this must be it. Let's go ahead and check it out. You're going in with me. Hello? Nope, nobody here. Let's go see whether we got somebody in here. Hello? Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Rusty, how you doing?
Okay.
Good to meet you.
Going to turn the camera on you.
Sure. Oh my God.
See, he didn't know the camera was coming.
I didn't know.
So he's probably packing up my machine right now as we speak.
Yours right there.
Mine's right here.
Packed it up last night.
See, this is, I already bought it without him checking it out. This is pretty cool.
How was the drive?
It was good. It was good.
You came from Kennett, right? Or near Kennett?
Yeah,
Okay.
close by.
Close by.
So this is it, huh? This is the Roost.
Take a walk around. You can.
Pretty cool. Nice to have your own little pickleball court right where you're working. You can break and go play pickleball. Yeah.
So we have 3 PTZ cameras. They capture all the footage on the court.
Yeah, I saw some of the live. So if you go to their channel, they got some live, just people playing and having fun actually.
And then we have all of our, targets, capture targets, flat targets, cone targets, etc. We have clinics now that we're doing. Coaches are coming in and running clinics
cool.
here.
Cool.
We'll be live streaming those starting first week of January. So we'll have live streams every sort of 3 out of 7 days.
Yeah.
So 3 days a week, at least, maybe more. We have Lee coming up in January. Yeah.
Cool.
Mid-January, I think. It's hard to get her pinned down.
I can imagine. I'm sitting here talking with Dave. He doesn't know I'm shooting this right now, but he's out. I guess they had a small leak in the roof, so he's talking to the guy out there. It's tough convincing this guy to get on camera. He's not too thrilled about it, but I'm actually doing
Thank
this.
you so much.
We're having a little talk here, and I'm going to see what I can do to get him on there to talk me into buying this sucker. Because actually, to be really honest with you, I'm having a blast talking with him. I feel like I'm talking to an old beer buddy someplace. But anyway, all right, we'll get back to the real deal here in a second. I'm sitting here with Dave, and I know I shoved the camera in his face when I walked through the door. I could tell he was like, like not real happy with. He's not a big I want to be in front of the camera kind of guy. He really wants to be over by his workbench in the Roost in there, working on new design stuff like that. And you're about ready to find out why, because I thought his background was kind of fascinating. Plus that. I don't know about you, but for me, ordering one of these, knowing after I met him that there's this kind of guy behind it, and I'll say he knows a little bit more about electronics than I do. Kind of fascinating to meet. So here we go. We're going to start talking to Dave. Jump right into it. Yeah, let's just start what you used to do before this. Let's just talk about that, because that kind of leads into what this whole thing is fascinating.
Yeah. So I'll go way back to the beginning.
Well, let's start out right now.
Yeah.
You were retired.
I've been retired 3 times.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now, so this is my 4th time coming out of retirement.
That's the qualifier, right? so go ahead, tell what you used to do.
So I started a software company in college in 1980. So I'm dating myself. I'm a little older, as you can tell by the gray hair. Built the software company for about 11 years and then sold it, and started another software company in healthcare for about 8 years and sold that. That was my first retirement. I retired for about almost 2 years. And then I, created other software companies over the years until about 2010. And then I got into 3D printing and decided to build 3D printers. So I got to write the firmware and design, architect, if you will, the 3D printer, which 2010 we started. I sold the company in about 2014. Retired for, again, just about 2 years. And then got called by a bunch of friends in healthcare who needed chief technology type person. So I decided to do that for, I guess I did it about 3 years, and then I got tired of it and retired again. And then I started playing pickleball in 2000, I guess it would be 2020, winter of 2020. I got a machine.
Just in time for COVID.
Just in time. Right on time.
Yeah.
I ended up getting a machine because at that time, at the beginning of COVID, people were afraid to play in the very beginning, like the first few months. People were afraid, at least around here, to come out and play on the courts. Yeah. So it was like, well, what am I going to do? I love the game. I want to play it. So I bought a machine. After a couple days with the machine, I realized it was not great. It didn't meet my expectations. So as an engineer, I took it apart and decided I can build a better machine, create a better mousetrap. And so that was about 3 years ago, almost now. Well, about exactly 3 years ago. And built the ERNE over the course of 3 years, designed the software, designed the hardware, the electronics, and the mechanicals, and went through multiple prototypes. I have several 3D printers at home, no surprise. Yeah. And so I was able to build the prototypes. Use stepper motors, so a unique kind of technology in the context of ball machines, never had been used before, but very common in CNC machines and 3D printers. So I knew that was one of the advantages. So built that, and then finally found a manufacturer in China to actually build the machine, and their quality is amazing. It exceeded my expectations, and my expectations were low because I thought China has a bad reputation. At least in a lot of cases. And when I got the first 2 prototypes that they built through their process, I was pleasantly surprised. And since that, we've sold a lot of machines, and the quality remains to be just top notch. It's really amazing how good they build the machines.
Yeah, well, I got to say, I got to say that one of the things when I was doing my research, and this is kind of funny, and not everybody can say this, but you guys were so close to my home.
Right.
I went,
Right.
you know, if I'm going to get one of these things, I got to go up and check it out.
Yeah.
And I said, that made me feel real comfortable. The thing is I haven't seen that much in the negative space about it.
Right.
So that was the other thing. And actually after kind of talking to this guy, I realized with his background, he's closer to the software gods than I am, and kind of okay. Let's talk about software.
Sure.
So you kind of went and you start getting really into this game.
Yep.
And building a better mousetrap. This is one thing when I looked at the software on it, I thought, my God, I can create half a game for myself.
Yeah.
And so many different things I can do with the ball itself.
Right.
As we're still going to go out, and he hasn't convinced me. He got me the hat, right? And he's got me a shirt, and he's so convinced that pickleball machine. He's the guy that's sitting out there with my name on it.
Yeah, I haven't lost one yet. So I'm pretty confident.
Good marketing. So what, you know, with the explain a little bit about the software, because I already loaded it up on my phone.
Sure. So the idea all along was to build an electromechanical device, a machine that is incredibly robust, that would last for a long time, years and years. And so as you buy a car, you get a car this year, and then next year they add a new widget, you got to get the new car. I didn't want to do that with ERNE. But I wanted to keep it being upgradable. So similar with 3D printers, I kept the firmware very generic. That's the software that runs on the machine.
Right.
And wrote the app, designed and wrote the app that runs on the iPhone and Android to be independent so that we could upgrade that consistently, create new drills, create new shots, create new spins, create whatever, and be able to simply give it to you guys on your phone, and you never have to change the machine. Good?
Yeah.
I'm
just checking the recording, make sure I'm getting all this.
So that was the idea, and at the time when I started, it's changed a little bit in 3 years. The dominant players in the market were 50 years old plus.
Yeah.
The dominant players, right? The vast majority. And so I know I'm 50 plus. A little more than that, but we'll stay there. And I realized that a lot of people are uncomfortable with technology on phones at that age. So I thought, whatever I do, I got to make it really, really simple. You know, dive bomb, pick a thing, hit start. Yeah. And so that was the idea behind the software is make it as simple.
Kind of like DOS to Windows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Make it as simple as you possibly can so that people who aren't comfortable with tech can still use it without having to call somebody or read a manual or whatever. It's sort of intuitive. And so that's where I ended up. The software is built to be upgraded. We've already released several upgrades since we released the machine. We have another big one coming out in January that'll give you individual shot control across 28 shots. So you'll be able to set up a sequence of 28 shots. Every shot can be unique. Can be totally different spin, different speed, different frequency, different right, different left, different up, down. So that'll be released in January, probably towards the middle or end of January. So about a month away, a little over a month. That'll be a big upgrade. And we have a roadmap that takes us out 3 years for software.
Wow, cool.
So we have a lot of things coming outside of the standard sort of point and shoot. We'll be adding camera ability, so the ability to record. I won't go into details, but we have a lot on the roadmap in terms of what we're going to do.
I didn't even think about this when I was kind of looking at this stuff. This could really play into like a coach, a person that's coaching, you know, working with. So explain how you know a coach would work with this type of thing.
There's the obvious things, right? The coach doesn't have to stand there and hit balls repeatedly. He can have the machine do it. Yeah. So that's sort of obvious. The one that isn't so obvious, and it's a really big deal, is the coach now can be on the side of the court with the player. Because ERNE's on the other side, and he does all the controls on his phone. So he can actually be there looking at you close and saying, wait a minute, you got to bend your knees more, or your swing, your swing is too big, or whatever it is. That's a huge advantage to coaches, to be able to be there with the player, on the side with the player, and look at them and interact with them closely, as opposed to being on the other side of the net. And with any other machine, say that again, any other machine, you're bent down and you're pressing buttons and turning knobs. That's not what you want to do. Yeah. So
he gets excited. He's about ready to jump out of the camera.
Yeah, I do.
And I got to admit, it's kind of cool because when you're going to go out and spend a fair chunk of change to do this. It's kind of fun to see the guy that's designing all this stuff get so excited about the product that he's talking about. Now, I don't know, because we haven't talked about any of this. So I said my thinking of buying this is, and I remember I was sitting out there drilling with somebody, and I was trying to do something, a specific thing. The problem was the people that were at my level couldn't get the ball back to the same spot. I mean, their dinks were here, they were there, they were everywhere. So is this really accurate? And we're going to find out. So
so ERNE is arguably, of course I would argue this, the most accurate, most consistent machine on the market. If you used any of the other ones, I won't mention names, people probably know who they are. One of their biggest problems is initial configuration. So getting the machine to initially shoot the shot you want.
Right.
And then once you get it, having it be consistent. So to put it there time and time again. ERNE uses, as I mentioned earlier, stepper motors. These motors can move the thing that throws the balls, it's called the yoke, right, left, up, down. ERNE moves it at 0.7 degrees. So every time you say move it up, it moves at 0.7 degrees. So you have an incredible amount of control in terms of exactly where you want to put the ball.
Yeah.
So that's something unique to ERNE. The other machines don't use stepper motors. They use sort of older technology. It's called DC motors and limit switches, which has a lot of limitations. And for those of you that have used the other machines, you know what those limitations are.
And believe it or not, I do have a slight idea what he's talking about.
There you go.
Barely.
There you go.
Just enough to appreciate it.
So one of the things is ERNE can move a little bit that way and then back and over a little bit more and a little bit and so on. So he can move anywhere in that arc.
Yeah.
Okay? Point to point. The other machines have to do the whole arc before they come back. So if I want to hit one there and then come back here and then go back there, I have to wait till it gets all the way over and comes all the way back.
Right.
So it's a much slower process, and it leads to inconsistency because on the other machines, the yoke tends to throw the ball while it's still moving.
Now, I've seen on other machines that they actually, the whole machine moves.
Yeah.
Yours, this is a little different.
Right, yeah. So ours is, again, going back to those stepper motors and the way it's designed or architected, is ERNE doesn't move the machine. The machine is stable. It never moves. What moves is the yoke inside, the thing that throws the balls. That moves right, left, up, down. And it can actually move diagonally by moving on both axes at the same time. So unlike every other machine in terms of that capability. And it really, we call it stealth mode, because unless you're really staring in ERNE's yoke from the other side of the court, you're not really going to know where the ball's going to come. Unless you set up a drill that's only going to throw it to one spot, then you know. But we have one drill called random that will literally throw the balls randomly to 28 locations on the court. You're not going to know where they are.
Yeah.
You'd have to stare at the yoke, and by the time you figure it out, the ball's already gone, and you're not going to get the shot. So it really is a stealthy mode of operation. It's also ideal for singles players because we can make them use the whole court. Right, those 28 spots extend around the whole court.
It seems like, and it'll hold, make sure I'm right on this, 150 balls? 150 balls, which is a fair amount of balls. It seems like, you may not think about it now, but 150 balls firing at you back and forth is going to give you a workout. So we're talking about a workout.
Right.
Even if you don't know what you're doing with pickleball,
that's a great point. So we have a lot of folks that are, I'll use the term excited, maybe that's not the right term, but are happy that they can turn ERNE into a cardio workout. So I get to work on my technique. I get to, hit down the line, backhands, whatever. But if I want to, I can really work my heart out and my muscles out by making myself move all over the court.
Right.
So it helps you in terms of your pickleball game, but it helps you in terms of stamina and in terms of just cardio. So it's a really good workout beyond pickleball.
Yeah. A weird question to ask during this, but how are things going so far? Has this met your expectations? Because it is pretty much I'm going to say kind of a startup company, right? And here you are in your retirement going to do this.
Right.
So I'm sure you had a budget and a game plan and everything, but is this kind of like exceeding or?
Great question. We had a budget, we had a forecast. I worked diligently on the forecast before we actually started selling the machine. I banged my head against the wall trying to figure out, is it this many or is it going to be this many?
Yeah.
And trying to figure out all the parameters. And in terms of how we're doing now, we are 8 months into this. So we started releasing machines, started selling machines in March, released the first batch physically in May. We had prototypes for months, but the first production run went out in May. We are 8 times what my forecast said.
Wow.
8 times. So 800% more than what I thought. Yeah, ERNE's killing it. I mean, and when it gets out there and people are on the court and they see somebody using it, I mean, they're immediately enamored by it. They just because of the way it looks.
Now, right behind you,
Yeah.
and we'll see part of it, and I'll get a copy of this because I was kind of fascinated in what in the world this was. You got a map behind you,
Yeah.
and there's like a gazillion pins.
Yeah.
So thinking again that this is kind of a startup thing, there's obviously people playing pickleball, but what do the pins represent?
So the pins represent individual players, and the flags, there's green flags, which represent coaches, and there's orange flags, which represent clubs. So that's what those 3 sort of pins represent on the map. And so it's clear this map is about 60% full. So I have 40% of my pins sitting there that still need to go in the map.
Right.
We can't keep up with it.
Before we leave this room, I'm going to take one pin and I'm going to put it up there. It's going to be my pin.
Yeah,
so
you're pinning for the villages.
As long as I'm buying this thing. He's got me half convinced. I haven't even gotten out there to try it yet. Got me half convinced on doing that. And if you see me putting a pin up, that means they sucked me in.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm 100% confident.
He seems pretty confident about this. So yeah, that's a fascinating story. It's a really cool story that you know, and you do have a couple of partners in this. So you have a couple of other guys working with you, but I saw his workbench out there, and it's an engineer's workbench where he's got all the electronic stuff out there. So I know he's playing around with this stuff. So it's kind of, I'm sure you'll have future things. You look like you're addicted to the fun. So.
I am, and we do. We do have a lot of futures coming out. As I said, we have a roadmap not just for the software, but we have additional pieces of hardware that'll be coming out, extensions to ERNE that'll be coming out, optional. You don't have to get them. And then we have other related equipment that'll be coming out, like training nets, capture nets. We have now ball tubes, and we've been selling balls for several months now. So yeah, we'll keep adding to it. I want to keep us focused on training. So we won't be selling paddles unless there's a training paddle, which there is. Franklin makes a sweet spot trainer. So we'll be doing those kind of things. But we won't be a generic pickleball company. You can buy anything you want. Yeah. You know, you can go to Pickleball Central or one of those guys if you want a new paddle. We won't be doing that. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. We're moving down the road pretty quickly. Eight times faster than I thought. You know, and everybody's like, that's a good problem. And it's like, well, yeah, to a large extent, it's a good problem. But there are bad things that comes with it. Yeah. I thought I'd have plenty of time to set up all the infrastructure. And I had to compress that down from what I thought would be a year and a half to about 4 months. Yeah. So getting the warehouse, getting everything prepped, you know, getting the court built, getting the workbench put together. Yeah. I mean, all that had to be compressed.
Luckily, I know I looked on their website, and it says that they're back ordered, and I know they're getting them in here as fast as they can, and they're flying out the door. Yep. So I'm lucky because since I was coming up here, he's already spotted me one that we're going to go check out. So can we go out? And I'm going to make a different video about this. Sure. So this is going to be 2 different videos. I just thought it was kind of really fun to look at his history when he started talking to me. We were sitting over here at coffee having a good time. Yeah. And I'm sorry if you've ordered one and I kept him from sending it out.
Because he did. Yeah. He did. If your machine is late, it's because of Rusty.
It's my fault. But anyway, we're going to go out, and I just wanted to see a quick history of this, and that we're up here and bat it around a little bit, and he's going to show me about ERNE. We'll get that in a different thing. So should we go do that? And
awesome.
We'll try to get that on another video.
Sure.
Cool. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun talking to Dave. And like I said, his enthusiasm and the ability of the ERNE pickleball machine to basically improve over time through the software is I think is really cool. Once I watched it work there and go through its paces with him, that was kind of fascinating. There's other videos you can go out there. I really, really, really appreciate you hanging around till the end. And if you use that code right there, you will get a discount. And it kind of helps this channel out and will help me do, trust me, I don't make any money on this. I eat up all the money and my profits in making these things. That'll help out a lot. Really appreciate it. And also put down in the comments too, things that you've learned, experiences that you've had with the ERNE Pickleball Machine, because I'd sure like to know, and I'd like to see maybe they can help other people out, because that's kind of what this community is all about. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get to do some more videos with Dave and head up to Roost and maybe some other kind of fun information that he may tell me down the road a little bit that I can talk about. And yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for subscribing, hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll get to improve our pickleball abilities. Have a great day, and I'll either see you back here on YouTube or I will see you down in the villages, or who knows, maybe now on a pickleball court someplace. Have a great day.